Hello and welcome to Season 3 of Coming Up Kuntah! Now, Season 3 is going to see some changes. Firstly, I'm going to try and also do them in video form as much as I can. And the biggest change, we're not just going to be talking about me. In Season 1, the theme of Coming Up Kuntah was all about talking about me and my growth as a social media influencer or content creator. And the first season, I would say, was fairly interesting. It was all new. No one knew who I was. We were just going through the motions of trying to become a content creator. Then by Season 2, I would say I'd successfully become a content creator. Maybe not an influencer, but somebody people recognised here and there. But Season 2 had a lot of downfalls. I had a lot of problems, mentally, physically, financially. And I found all I really had to talk about was negative stuff. All the disappointments in my life. All the problems I had going on. And I didn't even get to the end of Season 2. I just stopped. One day I was filming an episode and I just thought to myself, you know what? I don't want to hear this. They don't want to hear this. I must make people miserable listening to my problems all the time. And I stopped. That was it. I thought I was done. But recently I've had a lot of messages from people asking me, about my problems and what's going on. Asking what happened to the podcast. I had a message yesterday from a guy who said to me, I'd love a podcast where you explain all the problems that you have and what's been going on. And I thought about it for a while and I thought, you know what, you're right. Although I might not enjoy hearing myself moan, people did give a fuck. People were listening. But I didn't want to come back on here, starting off that way, just whinging and moaning. So I thought, okay, let's try and mix things up a bit. And before we get into any details, we're going to start this episode off with 25 facts you might not have known. Not safe for work edition. Did you know that a single male contains enough sperm to impregnate every woman on the planet twice? Approximately 1 in 3 couples in their 80s are still having sex on a regular basis. There are a few animals that participate in oral sex, but wolves, bats and bears do. The vagina can double in size when it's aroused. The vagina will release approximately 2 teaspoons of discharge a day. The first person to write about female ejaculation was my man Aristotle. The 2 most common fetishes in the world are feet and BDSM. Now, you know that breasts and genitals like to swell up when you get aroused, but did you know so does your inner nose due to blood flow? In ancient times, some kings would eat the penises of their predecessors to gain their power. The word testify comes from an ancient Roman tradition of swearing on somebody's testicles in court. A male can ejaculate up to 28 miles per hour. 28% of Australian people have admitted to having a threesome. Despite the amount of things that might have gone into a girl's vagina, it will never actually go loose. It will always get back to its original shape. And the first 2 inches of a vagina are the most sensitive. The vagina can literally fall out of the body. This is called a vaginal prolapse. On average, it takes 2 to 10 minutes for a man to climax, but for a woman, it can be up to 20. Sex toys have been around for literally hundreds of years. The scent of a pumpkin can help a man get an erection. May is National Masturbation Month. It is not necessary for a woman to climax to get pregnant, but it is the male. Studies have shown that coffee can make your boobs more sensitive. In the 1700s, the King of Tonga was claimed to have took the virginity of 37,800 women. The clitoris has about 8,000 nerves and the penis only has about half of that. On average, a healthy male will have about 11 boners a day. And finally, China offers a degree in bra studies. Alright, so we all know I'm pretty much known as like the facts guy. Also the bearded guy that sits in his car with his sunglasses on. And for those listening and not watching the video podcast, I forgot my sunglasses and it is fucking bright out here. Well anyway, you all know me as the facts guy and I thought, well, maybe we should be putting some facts in the videos. That way it's not just one long session of me whinging and moaning about different stuff that's been going on. But to be honest, I haven't got too much to moan about. Well, except for the illness. The problem, I don't know what to call it because we don't know what it is. But let me quickly run you through the issues I've been having and the timeline of events. So it was back in December. I started getting this weird feeling in my sides and eventually I started getting a pain in my abdomen. And to be honest, I get random pains all the time. One day my leg's hurting, the next day it's better, the next day it's my back, the next day that's better, and I'll just put this down to that. But then after a couple of weeks, I'm starting to think, all right, this ain't going away. We need to talk to someone. So that's what I did. Message a GP. He instantly got me in, and I'm thinking, okay, he's concerned. We did blood and stool samples. I can't remember what the blood results showed, but they showed some stuff. And on top of that, the blood that was inside the stool sample led them to believe colon cancer. So I'd gone from not knowing what was wrong to possibly having colon cancer overnight. First step to making sure you haven't got colon cancer is the colonoscopy. And we had to wait about 6 weeks for that, even though it was on the 2-week cancer fast track. The UK NHS at the moment is just fucked. But anyway, we have that done. And luckily, it wasn't colon cancer. They put the camera up there, they took some biopsies, they checked it all out, it's fine. Now after this, it did come back after some blood tests that I have a non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. Or I have non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, sorry. And I asked the doctor, could that be causing the pain? And they said, well, yeah, but only on the side your liver is. I'm like, okay, but it's on the other side and in the middle. So then we tested for Crohn's disease, and I can't remember the rest of them. There was a few different things that we've been tested for, and they're all coming back negative. But every single test we do, my inflammation markers are high. I'll quickly tell you a little bit more about the pain. If you go to the left side of your right breast, and just come down a little bit, about the first rib. That's where I feel like a ball-shaped knot. Pain, I can't really describe it. That's my biggest issue. I'm never able to describe these issues to doctors because they ask me what does it feel like, and I don't know. I've never felt it before to reference it to something else. But anyway, I've got that kind of feeling there, and then my sides just feel, again, I can't give you a word for it. Uncomfortable. Like, I've been quite fat. I was 18 stone 10. We'll get to that in a second. And when I'd sit down, my fat rolls would kind of roll over each other. Like, I can't really do it with my hands, but like the fat would roll and I could feel those rolls. And the feeling I've got on my side is the feeling of the fat rolling, but I haven't got the fat anymore. I can pinch, I don't know, maybe an inch, but it's not like rolls of fat like on top of each other, but that uncomfortableness of a crease in your skin is more uncomfortable for me, and sometimes there is no creases there. I can be laying in bed like completely flat and straight, but I feel like my sides are rolled up and squished together. I really can't explain this very well. And then you got bowel like habits and stuff. I don't want to get too much into that. It's not a nice thing to talk about, but let's just say sometimes I could go, sometimes I couldn't. Sometimes too much, sometimes not enough. We could go a week without, we can go a week doing it 10 times a day. Maybe not literally that much, but... And this confused the doctors, because normally it's one or the other. So with my inability, is that a word? Inability to be able to describe my symptoms and pains, and the inconsistency of my bowel movements and a few other things, just we're leaving the doctors a little bit stumped here. Now, I never thought it had anything to do with the colon. And I did bring this up right at the start, but you know, when they went to colon cancer, you're like, shit, no, we're doing this. We've got to get this sorted ASAP. And as I said, luckily it wasn't that. And after my last call with the doctors, he looked at the results and he said, like, all right, I'm not sure. I'm really not sure here. What we're going to do, all the tests we just done, we're going to do them again. And if they come back the same, we're going to leave the colon and we're going to send you over to the gastro team. In other words, they've looked at the colon a lot and they now believe it's not anything to do with the colon, and it's going to have something to do with gastronomy. I don't know. Gastro team. Gastronom. Fuck, why can't I think of the word? Anyway, gastro team basically means stomach. I've been with them before, which is another fucking confusing story all of its own. But before I bore you with that, I recently filmed some TikTok videos telling you some funny stories. And just to bring the mood up in this podcast, I'm going to play one for you every now and again. Let's roll the first one. What is the worst accident you've ever had? So the only thing I've ever broke is my ribs, and I've done that twice. Well, I say I've done it twice. The second time, my wife broke my ribs. Now, I've told this story before, but I'll tell it again. So, I thought it'd be funny to teabag my wife. I have a shower, go upstairs, walk into the bedroom, and see my wife laying there, fast asleep. And as I take my towel off, I think, I'm going to teabag her. So I really slowly climb onto the bed, and I'll walk over her body, and until I'm right above her face, and then I slowly descended my nuts onto her forehead. But little did I know, she was awake the entire time and knew exactly what I was doing. I've done it before, you see. She knows my old tricks. She had a plan for revenge. So as my plums kissed her forehead, she pushed her face up as hard as she could and blew a raspberry on my chocolate starfish. I was shocked. I jumped out of my skin. I nearly hit the ceiling. And I come down and hit the floor so hard, I broke 3 ribs. Of course, then we went to the hospital, after she stopped laughing, of course. And did she tell the doctors that I just fell over or something? No, of course she didn't. She told them the whole story. So I had all the doctors and nurses laughing at me. But hey, that's karma, I guess. Kuntah! And I hope that answered your question on what is the worst accident you've ever had? Anyway, right, where were we? So, those that have been listening to these podcasts for many years, 2-3 years, you'll know I've also had a big bad pain in my neck. Goes all the way around the back, all the way around the front and down to about here, right? And it's just painful all the time. It never goes away. It gets worse, it gets better, but it's never gone. And I used to take a lot of medication to help with the pain, but, you know, really, I don't really take hardly any medication now, and it's not really any better when I was on it. And surely all those, like, codeine tablets and all that are probably just fucking up other things in my body. So I don't really take any painkillers for it now. You just get used to it. It's not nice to be able to say that, like, oh, you're in pain, don't worry, you'll get used to it. You do get used to it, and you do learn to live with it. But for some reason, they believe the pain in my neck was to do with my stomach, so I had to have the camera. I shouldn't do that, should I? Sorry, those that are those that are listening and not watching the video. Imagine that you're holding the camera, right, on a tube, and then you put the tube up to your mouth quite fast. It looked like I was sucking something off. But yeah, having the tube down the throat is not nice. I'm not sure what they were looking for exactly. Some doctors were talking about stomach acid, and that could cause the pain in my neck, and I'm thinking this is all bullshit in my opinion. And yeah, 3 years later we still don't know what the cause of the pain in my neck is. And when I brought this up on my Facebook recently, I had a lot of people saying you should look at fibromyalgia, and I looked at it, and basically it means pain that's not really diagnosable. Like there is no real reason for it. So maybe it is fibromyalgia. You know, I don't want it to be anything, obviously, but it is something. There was another condition I was recommended to look at, and I can't remember the name of it, but I have every single symptom of it. Every single one. Except it said something about inside your colon there's little pockets of mucus. And obviously we've had the colonoscopy and he didn't mention nothing about that. I even watched the colonoscopy. I watched every second of it because they gave me the sedation, but it didn't work. I put it in and I'm like, I'm meant to be feeling something right now. And he's like, it's all right. And he popped it in there. He went, how's that? And I went, oh, you know, it's not as bad as I imagined. I don't know what I imagined, but I just imagined it would be very uncomfortable. And it was uncomfortable, but like, I was laying in my bed in the hospital waiting to go in, and men were coming out, groaning and all tired and looking like they're in pain. And I'm like, oh my God. This is going to be me in like half hour when I come out, right? And I've gone in there, he's popped it in, and I've gone, oh, okay. All right, and then I'm looking at the TV screen. I'm like, what's that? And he's like, oh, that's this. And I'm like, what's that? He was like, oh, that's this. And I was like, then he took a biopsy, and I was like, why didn't I feel you take that out? And he's like, you got no nerve endings there. I was like, oh, okay. Actually, sorry, I lie. I didn't watch the first biopsy. He said he was going to do a biopsy, and I looked away. Then looked back because I was like, have you done it yet? And he had done it. And then he moved and said, oh, I'm going to do another one here. And I watched, and I didn't feel it. And I was just like, why? And he said, yeah, you've got no nerve endings there, so you can't feel it. I was like, oh, okay, fair enough. And yet people told me how painful the biopsies were, but no pain. Don't worry about biopsies in your colon. But anyway, he would have said if there were the pockets of mucus in there. So that kind of rules out that whole other thing that I found that sounded like it to the T. But I'm still going to bring that one up to the doctors when I see him. Now, before we continue, I think it's time for another one of my stories. Let's roll the video. What is the best drunk story you've got? Several years ago, I was up north. I was attending a convention. So I stayed in a hotel, and I'm in my room, and this bloke just randomly walks in my room and asks me if I've got any drugs for sale. I told him no. Why would I have drugs? He said, well, your door was open. It's like a sign. Anyway, he was a nice bloke. We was chatting. He invited me for a drink. It is. Told me him and the lads were playing poker, and I could join in. And I fucking glad I did, because I had a great night. Well, until I pretty much lost all my money. Not a lot, but everything I had on me. But that weren't the end of the story. No, you see, they said to me, do I want a chance of winning all my money back? Of course I do. They said, well, you got to do a dare. And I'm thinking, oh shit, it'll be one of those situations where I end up becoming a criminal, like they're going to ask me to steal a car or go murder someone. But no, it weren't anything like that. It was very simple. There was a wedding going on downstairs in the hotel. All I had to do was go down there and dance with the bride. So we go downstairs, right? We walk through the doors of the wedding, and the bride ain't even on the dance floor. And I said to them, look, I can't go ask her for a dance. I need her to be on the dance floor and then go dance with her. So we waited around, we've had a few drinks, we're speaking to guests, and then everyone started partying. At this point, I'm absolutely fucked. So I see the bride on the dance floor. I've kind of walked onto the dance floor, just fucking bobbing my head up and down, and I see the bride, and I grab her by like the wrist, trying to pull her towards me, and she just smiles at me, and her face lights up, and she goes, Darren, what are you doing here? I couldn't believe it. This girl, I went to school with her. So I told her the whole story, right? Everything I've told you so far. She's laughing her head off, and she agreed to go along with it. The groom comes over. She introduces me to the groom, says I'm an old friend and I'm staying at the hotel, blah, blah, blah. Then I went back over to the lads, got my money back, and I spent it all that night buying drinks for pretty much anyone who spoke to me. Kuntah! And I hope that answers your question on what is the best drunk story you've got?
Oh, that is one of my favourite ones. But anyway, where are we now on the conditions that I've got, and what are we going to be doing next? Fuck knows. So we've got to redo the stool and blood samples. I actually did them yesterday there with the GP now, and I think last time the blood's come back in like 2-3 days, but the stool sample took about 2 weeks. I don't know why. And when they come back, they're probably going to have the same information on, because what's really changed, and then I'm going to get moved over to the gastro team, and that is that, and then we will start looking at the stomach, where I believe the issue is around that area, because that's where the pain is. My personal opinion. And if it's not that, then yeah, we have to look at things like fibromyalgia. Like, it's not a thing wrong with you, it's you're wrong. Your body is wrong. Your body don't like you very much. But hey, it is what it is what it is. So I think that's everything without getting any more detail involved, because it's quite a long, boring story, and we want to mix up these podcasts a little bit so they're not all just about me. Wait a minute, no, it still will be just about me. It is my podcast at the end of the day, but we're just going to chuck some videos and facts in there. And talking about chucking some facts in there, did you know that the skin on the inside of your cheek is the exact same skin that you can find in the inside of a lady's vagina? Also, there are certain species of insects, female insects, that don't have vaginas. Instead, the man literally has to stab his penis through her body. Orchids are named after the Greek word for testicles. The average man will ejaculate about 16 gallons of semen throughout his lifetime. There is an octopus that literally rips off its penis and throws it at the female to have sex with her. Hiccups can be cured with a digital rectal massage. A teaspoon of semen roughly contains 7 calories. The average length of a blue whale's penis is 8 foot long. And due to its similarities, if you're really stuck in a pickle and you're out of eggs and you're trying to make some dough, you can use semen. Anyway, that's enough facts. Let's get back to talking about me. I started off by saying that I don't have too much to moan about, other than, well, the obvious. And that's because things ain't been going too bad for me recently, and I don't know what changed. Last year, my depression just hit an all-time low. The last 6 months of last year was just shit. And then I think everyone gets into the new year and starts saying, like, new year, new me, oh, we're going to really try this year, blah, blah, blah. And I did. I was already in a good mood at the beginning of the year. It had been 1 year since I started my diet, and I weighed myself, and I was 14 stone. I started off at 18.10 a year before. 4 stone, 10 pound gone. Of course, I'm in a good mood. I felt like I'd achieved something quite hard, and I feel better for it. And I think that although my mental health was kind of decreasing, I think sometimes you need a win to help pick yourself back up. And while I had this motivation, I put it into my work. I decided, right, we're not going to keep making excuses why we can't film content. We're not going to just lay around in bed all day doing fuck all. We're not going to be crying, whinging and moaning, oh, life's so hard. We're going to make an effort instead. And that's what I did. I decided, right, okay, we're not going to be doing 1 video a day like I was, because what I was doing is on a good day, I'd film about 5, 6, 7 videos, right? So I had about 1 a day. I decided, no, I want 4 to 5 a day. And that's what I've been doing. If you've been following my channels and you see all my videos, you'll be seeing too many. You're probably sick of me. But I know you don't see them all. That's not how the algorithm works. you're only probably seeing the best of the best, the ones that actually go viral. And talking about viral, we had so many videos go viral in January and February. In February alone, we reached so close to 80 million views on Facebook, 79.8 million views. And if we talk about money, without me telling you really what I got, comparison to last year, in the whole of last year, I didn't even earn enough to compete with somebody working a part-time job on minimum wage. That's how bad last year was for me. Now, you know, it was stressful, but I now realise it was because of me. I weren't trying hard enough. Whereas this year, I've signed up with some agencies who helped me get work. And honestly, I've been smashing it. I had one come through randomly and I was like, oh, we've got to try our hardest on this, and we did. You know, they had a few, you know, bits they wanted me to change that we weren't happy with and all that, and I did it, right? And then they got back to me again. They wanted another lot of videos done. And I'm like, okay. So the changes weren't a massive issue, right? This time, I sent them all off. They come back with a few little bits and bobs, but nothing major. And then I got another order with that company. And I sent it off and I said to my wife, I'm not going to put all that stuff away because I'm probably going to need to film again because they're going to ask for some changes, right? But I put so much time and effort into those last videos. I did everything that they had mentioned before that they wanted changed. So I knew what to do for them. And straight away, they loved them. Just paid me like that. And I'm just like, shit, okay. So I'm learning, I'm getting better. And because I got the reviews from them, a couple of other companies reached out and I got a bit of work with them. And then the money I made on Facebook, you know, I've never made money on Facebook. Oh, yes, a lie. 20, 30 quid a month here and there from a few views. But then with the adverts I got and the money from Facebook, I made enough as if I had a real job. And you know what I mean by real job? This is my job. But I think a real job is something that pays you a decent wage. And for 2 months I've had that. And it's been so nice that I lost that stress. However, we're halfway through the 3rd month of March and that stress is slowly coming back to me, right? Because I'm looking at my analytics and I'm thinking, we might just pull this off, right? Just. But who knows? I could have a video go viral tomorrow and a few hundred quid could come my way. You just don't know. We don't know with this game. It is a game. And, you know, we can forget about YouTube and TikTok and Instagram, right? You don't earn off Instagram. I can get subscribers on there, but I don't really push for it because that means I need to make more videos because I need subscriber-only videos, which is quite frustrating at the beginning when you've only got 1 or 2 and you're spending hours on content, you know, for 99p off of 2 people a month. I shouldn't look at it that way because that is how you build it up, right? But when I get to a level of success where I can put out 1 or 2 videos a day and they both do very, very well, I'll be able to spend the time on that 3rd video that only subscribers will see. So I don't think it's in my interest to focus on those subscribers for now. Instead, chuck out as much content as we can and see what shit sticks to the wall and helps pay the bills. And that philosophy, no, that's not the word, that strategy has been working for me for the past 2 months, and if it works this month again, I'll be doing exactly the same next month. And I'm saying, if we can get myself to a face that people recognise more often, they will be more likely to stick around on the videos, meaning I can make less and achieve the same amount of views. That's where we need to get to next, because it is fucking stressful, but I'll tell you about that after one more TikTok video that I recently made with another story. What is the most pettiest you've ever been? About 12 years ago, I was on holiday in Fuerteventura, right? And I met this big group of lads and lasses. Every night we was out drinking, having a laugh about getting on the stage. We just had a great week. Anyway, on about the 5th day, it was raining really bad. I remember walking down the high street and the shops had rain inside them, just flooding. They weren't built for this rain. I get back to the hotel, the swimming pools are closed, the sunbeds have been brought in, and there's a fair few inches of water on the floor. The place was flooding. Then I've gone to my room, and as I walked in the room, I could see a bit of water coming in under the door. Me being smart, I've got some towels, pushed them up against the door, wedged them in. We stay in our room for the rest of the night. We can't really get out because of the rain. Anyway, next day, lovely and sunny. Go downstairs, go to see the friends with, mate. Oh, they're not happy. Oh, they're not happy at all. Their room's flooded. Everything they own got soaking wet. And for the next 24 hours, they couldn't go back in their rooms. You had people sleeping in the halls, in the entertainment centre, in the bars, on sun loungers. And I'm thinking, being Mr. Genius, I've got to sleep in my nice dry room all night. But this is where the pettiness comes in. Every single one of them got a free holiday. They all got to come back the next year for free. All paid for. What do I get? Nothing. Absolutely f***ing nothing, because I was the only one that used my f***ing head and stopped the water coming into the room in the first place. I should be rewarded. They should have looked at the money they saved by me doing that and thought, you know what, if anyone deserves a free holiday, it's this f***ing Kuntah. Anyway, I hope that answers your question on what is the most pettiest you've ever been?
Yeah, it's a great one, weren't it? Well, I thought it was. So I actually forgot where I was. What was we talking about? Ah, yes, I was saying how stressful it was. And it is stressful, like every day, trying to make X amount of videos. The thinking of the content is the hardest bit. The filming it takes, well, it's the quickest part. You know, one video can take a minute to 10 minutes. Editing can take maybe about an hour. It can take me from morning to night to get 5 videos done. And I also edit those videos differently for TikTok, YouTube, Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook. I'm sure there's another one I'm missing. And I'll give all of them the same amount of attention, just slightly different tweaks that I know the algorithms on different platforms want. Unfortunately, TikTok is fucking dead for me. I'm speaking to so many people, it's just dead. I don't know what they're focusing on, but it ain't me. Instagram, great. I get millions of views every week, but as I say, you don't earn anything from that. I'm really just on there to entertain people. Which is great, because people recognising my face all helps with my career as becoming an influencer and a creator. And we're getting there. It's been a long journey, but we're getting there. I actually saw my old boss yesterday and we was having a chat about me helping him promote his new company that he started up. He started up a bait and tackle manufacturing company, and I said to him, oh god, this is well out of my depth, and I said to him, I'm not going to take your money and just tell my people that you've got this new place. I said, look, you're a friend of mine. I said, what we're going to do, we're going to have a chat, we're going to talk about a proper structure. And I started thinking more like not a creator, but somebody advising a creator, and I was telling him about all the different things he needs to be doing and how to do them and all that. And I started thinking maybe I could be getting into helping other people with their social media accounts, but there are already lots of people doing that. So I don't know, but that is something we could look at maybe in the future. You know, I could have that going on as my main thing, and then the videos on the side. I don't know, but anyway, I think that's enough about money, finances, and me just boasting about my success the past 2 months. That really could be gone next month and never come back. We don't know. That's the game we're playing. So instead, let me tell you about some exciting things coming up for me. So most excitingly, I've got a holiday coming up to Egypt at the end of this month. I'm taking my daughter away during the Easter school terms. Now, quite selfishly, I've never taken my daughter on holiday since she was 1. So when she was 1, about 1-ish, me and her mum broke up. Her mum moved away. You know, so every time I see her, it's a couple of hour drive, blah, blah, blah. And I guess the other selfish reason is money, because although as shit as things have been, I've still found enough to get away at least once a year. I work for holidays. I don't have a nice car, I don't have a big house or anything, right? I work so I can save up to go on holiday. That is my thing, that's my hobby, that's my passion, is to go on holiday. And it's more expensive during the summer holidays, so we always went when it was cheaper, maybe during the winter months. And that was how we saved money. But she's gonna be 13 this year, and I was just thinking, you know, I want to take her on holiday before she's a teenager. And obviously I've always loved my daughter, but just the past couple of years, I'm seeing her change so quick. And it's not that I love her more than I ever have, but I now worry more about losing her than I ever have. You know, she's going to be a teenager, and I remember becoming a teenager. I stopped going to my dad's house, like when my parents split. And I guess, as I said, this is me. I've been selfish, and I guess in one sense it's selfish again, because like, am I now only taking her away to try and stop me losing her, or am I taking her away because she deserves it, and she does deserve it, and she always deserved it, and I should have been doing it all along. So from here on though, I'm hoping that we can do it once a year in like the school terms. I can take her away once every year. Now hopefully money be great and we can do bigger and better things every time. And yeah, I don't know. I wish she was here so I could be with her more. You know, it's really started to get to me that lately, and you know, like,
her mum's so good, and she tells me everything. Like, she gets her school results, her mum tells me. We get on fine, and her mum's fiance. We all get on fine. Someone's revving their motorbike. I might have to pause this for a second. Alright, motorcycle's still there, but he's about to leave, so I'm just going to talk a little bit louder for a second. But I'm glad he interrupted me there, because I was getting a bit too emotional, and I was starting to feel a bit sad, and I was coming down. But I'll just say, it's a shame it took me so long to appreciate being a father and wanting to be a father more. And we all wish we could go back in time. And I know my daughter loves me, and I don't even think she ever saw me as a bad father. And I've never been a bad father, I've just been a bit of an absent father. And she's so lucky to have this stepdad who really stepped up, and he's such a great guy, and we all get along. And yeah, I just wish she was here so I could be with her more. And I just can't wait for this holiday to Egypt so I can spend it with her and show her the joys of going away, and the pools and the bars and everything, and the sun. It's going to be 30 degrees. It's going to be beautiful, and I can't wait. And then on top of that, the weekend coming, I'm going to Birmingham at the NEC. You've got MegaCon and Talkfest. The show, like, Talkfest is shit. Like, it's never great. MegaCon's alright. I love seeing all the costumes, and I look at these people thinking, I wish I could do that. I haven't really got the balls to walk around dressed as someone, but there's also not anyone I care enough about to want to dress up as. But I've really enjoyed doing that and seeing all that stuff. But what my favourite part of it is seeing friends and creators. I talk to so many creators, and they're at these events, and like me, Scotty Wartooth, Superlit Mario, Goonie Dad. I don't think AJ Slambino's coming. Kimmy was there one year. AWR Stewart was there. Tom Welly Wells. Bashed Entertainer, met him one year. But yeah, so many creators are at these places, and we get together and we chat. I normally just sit in spoons drinking. I normally say to people, like, I'll be walking around every now and again, but if you want to come find me, go to Spoons. I'll be in there, and if I'm not in there, I'll be back in there within half hour. And normally just ends up being a big table of all of us in Spoons just getting drunk, and that's the best thing about it. I'm going to go up on the Saturday morning, drive to Superlit Mario's house. He won't be there, but I'm going to leave my car there, then get on a train to the NEC. Now I'm going to get an Uber. Train takes too long. Going to get an Uber to the NEC. Meet up Mario there, because he's coming straight from London, because he's out the night before. Have our day at the NEC, then back to Mario's house, go to sleep. Next day, back to the NEC, get drunk again, have a good time, back to Mario's house, drive home the next morning, right? It's now Monday. Tuesday, I pick up my daughter, and we go on holiday. So, can't wait. Oh, and she doesn't know anything about it, by the way. She knows we're going on holiday in the summer holidays, not during the Easter holidays. So it's going to be a surprise for her, kind of. Like, she knows it's coming, but she doesn't know it's then. I can't wait to surprise her and pick her up. She'll be like, oh, where we going? I'll be like, on holiday. She'll be like, what? Yeah, it's going to be a fun conversation. I can't wait. I can't wait to tell her. So yeah, we got Talkfest, holiday, and Vicky from Bloodstock just got hold of me and asked if I want to come to Bloodstock this year. I'd never been to it before. I went last year. I had a great time. And she's invited me again this year. Unfortunately, she can't give me all the +1s she gave me last time, because I brought my brothers along last time. She can't do that this year. She said she's just too full up. But she still invited me, so I'm going up there with Superlit Mario and Scotty. And although we got the VIP, so we get going to VIP areas and all of that, she said she's also going to get us backstage this year. So fucking have it. Gonna be a good time. Gonna be a good time. So I've got 3 things to look forward to this year, and yeah, and with the way things are going. If my health improves, I think we could be on for a great year. And I don't mean to, like, I don't know what the word is, but I think I deserve it. I think I deserve a good year. Like, I've had such a hard time trying to follow my passion. And some people will be like, just get a real job. Yeah, it's fine. I could have done that. I could have done that at any moment. But you also know people that have said that you won't achieve your dreams if you stop going after them, and I'm really trying to achieve my dreams, and it hasn't affected my wife. That was the promise I made to her, that I would do this and nothing will change for her. You know, she's still been able to do what she wants. As I've said, I've still got her on holiday at least once a year, and we've still got a roof above our head. We never go hungry. You know, I've had to miss out on a few things. I used to go out drinking 2-3 times a week. I now go out about once a month. We used to have takeouts at least once a week. Again, now we have about one a month. You know, and she doesn't mind that. She likes it. like home cooked food anyway. Just takeouts just for the lazy days. Now there's less lazy days. Yeah, there are a few other things we've had to reduce. But I've also been looking into ways to save money, and I have saved money in places, so nothing really has affected her lifestyle. And I've managed to get along the past 3 years. So yeah, it'd just be great to have a year where I've got some money coming in. Not that it's going to be saved. As I said, my passion is to go on holidays. We're just going to have more holidays. That'll be what you see. You'll be seeing me going away more. I won't have a nicer car. I won't have a bigger house. I could win the lottery tomorrow, have £1 million, right? £1 million. This will still be my car until it breaks down. I will still live in the same house, because £1 million, I mean, yeah, I could pay off my mortgage, maybe. I probably would pay off my mortgage. But £1 million ain't a life-changing amount. I'll be doing the same thing. I'll just be able to do it for a fair few years, stress-free. And yeah, if I won the lottery tomorrow, £1 million, that's exactly what I'll be doing. I'd pay off the house, we'll go on some holidays, the rest would stay in the bank, and I could carry on doing what I'm doing, stress-free, more relaxed. Hopefully, that would mean my brain fog would clear up a bit so I could tell you more. Like, things come to me clearer, better ideas, I can make better content. Actually, I could make better content. I could invest maybe into people to help me, like, not write my content. I don't want a script. I don't want people being funny for me or coming up with these facts for me, but they could help with maybe finding the videos that I stitched to the beginning, or help edit them, because that takes up, like, I made 10 videos the other day, right, and they took me a day and a half to edit. I could have paid someone maybe £100. Hopefully not that much. Whew, adds up quite quick, don't it? But anyway, I've got £1 million in this scenario, but I paid someone to do them for me, right? And while they're doing that, I'm filming more. And we're just knocking out content. Just left, right and centre. Spending more time making some longer videos for YouTube and stuff. And I could afford to go places and show you more entertaining. You know, when I do these facts on, I don't know, history, for example, I could go to a museum to film it. I don't know, but there's so much more that can be done when you got money. So yeah, if things can keep going the way they're going, I will come out of this year with a wage of a normal person. Obviously I'll lose a chunk of it on tax, but so does everyone, and we could just live happily ever after. Even better, the scenario where I win the lottery. And yes, I am one of the people who play the lottery, so I have a chance of winning, very minute, but most people that say they want to win the lottery don't even play the lottery. I've been playing it every week since I was 18 years old. Same direct debit, same numbers. Whew, I'm getting hot in this car. So let's end that chat right there, right, and quickly just give you some more facts, and then we will wrap up first episode of season 3 of Coming Up Kuntah. Did you know humans and dolphins are the only two creatures, if given a mirror, will admire their own genitals? Beer and vaginas have the same acidity level. Did I say that right? Acidity. Elephants can literally grab things with their dicks just like they can their trunks. Wild boars give out the most sperm per ejaculate of any animal. A female kangaroo has 3 vaginas. Banana slugs have penises 6 to 8 inches long. I've just realised every fact I've gave you today is a sex fact. Fuck it, I might as well carry on. The left testicle normally hangs lower than the right. And finally, barnacles have a spare penis in case one of them breaks. Anyway, cunts, thank you very much for listening. I've tried to keep this short. I've tried to keep it a little bit more entertaining while telling you the stuff about me. And if you rather this format, please do let me know. If this works for you, if this was more entertaining than just listening to me moan, let me know and I'll carry on and I'll bring back another episode of Coming Up Kuntah. I won't do them while driving no more. We're doing just like this in my car, or maybe in my shed where it's air conditioned, because as you can see if you're watching, I am sweating. It is hot in here. It's a hot day today. We've had such shit weather, but the one day I decided to sit in my car, getting boiled alive. But anyway, cunts, thank you very much. If I missed anything out that you wanted to know in this podcast, you can leave comments and I can read through them and I know what to talk about in the next one. Give me some ideas, ask me some questions, and then we have stuff to talk about, and I'll fill it in between with some more facts. Maybe we'll stay away from the penis facts. You can let me know what type of things you want facts on. This is our podcast. We should be working together to create this. It shouldn't just be about me. We should be talking about you. Maybe we can start a segment where you tell me your stories or you talk about your health problems. We're a community at the end of the day. This should be a community podcast.
So thank you very much for listening to the first episode of season 3, and I will see you very soon on the next episode of Coming Up Kuntah. See you later, cunts.